spicy jam that she's been making in her home kitchen, crafted with love, right, as the as ever, which her daughter Lilibet described as beautiful. It turns out it's not made in her home kitchen.
I don't know, is that jam?
No.
Closed. I was upset and angry.
Just when you think the whole Meghan Markle drama is finally cooling off, well, think again. Because just as the dust was starting to settle from the royal rumbles and Hollywood flops, Meghan decided to launch her next big thing. But instead of a bang, it ended with a bite. And not the good kind. Let's just say Gordon Ramsay got a taste, and it was game over.
Is that cooked? Looks undercooked.
Not cooked.
No, it's not cooked.
So here's what went down. Meghan, in her latest rebrand move, introduced a luxury raspberry jam. And we're not talking about your average spread. This was supposed to be the jam to end all jams. Handcrafted, organic, nestled in pastel jars that looked like they were designed by angels on Pinterest. The label had all the buzzy words, farm to table, wellness, mindful living. It was less fruit in a jar and more healing your soul, one spread at a time. But what Meghan didn't plan for was Gordon Ramsay showing up to the restaurant where her jam was getting its soft launch. And let's be real, if there's anyone you don't want to accidentally serve a subpar jam to, it's the man who once yelled at a lobster. Apparently, Meghan's PR team had slipped her jam onto the menu, hoping for a little subtle buzz, just a taste on the side of some scones. No big deal, right? Wrong. Ramsay took one bite and the entire room froze. Diners went silent. Forks stopped mid-air. Influencers stopped mid-selfie. And then he spit it out. Not quietly, not casually. He launched it off his tongue like it was toxic waste. "This isn't food," he growled, loud enough for the forks to clatter. "It's a crime against fruit." What followed was a full-blown Gordon Ramsay roast session. No filter, no mercy. He tore into the jam like it owed him money. He called the texture slimy, the taste like cough syrup mixed with grandma's perfume, and the branding pretentious garbage. You could practically hear Meghan's business dreams shattering into tiny glass jar pieces. And of course, someone recorded the whole thing. Within an hour, the clip exploded online. Hashtags like #Jamgate and #Ramsay versus Meghan were trending faster than Meghan could whisper organic. Twitter, TikTok, even Grandma's Facebook page, everyone had something to say. One user tweeted, "Ramsay just said what the Queen was too polite to." Another added, "If this jam is farm to table, then I'm a time traveler." Food critics jumped in too. One compared the jam's consistency to melted lipstick. Another said, "If this is premium, then ketchup deserves a Michelin star." It was a feeding frenzy, but not the kind Meghan was hoping for. Now keep in mind this jam was her comeback plan. After her podcast fizzled out and her Netflix shows didn't exactly break the internet, this was supposed to be the start of her wellness empire. Sources say she even packed the jars herself, probably thinking it would be charming. But instead, she ended up the punchline of the week. Her team scrambled. They called the restaurant, begged them to remove the jam, and pleaded with the staff to keep quiet. Too late. The internet already had receipts. And Ramsay, he doubled down. When asked if he regretted what he said, he replied, "Absolutely not. I'd rather eat from a bin than that jam again." Even the restaurant quietly ended their partnership. Rumors started swirling. Meghan's team blamed storage issues, shipping delays, anything but the recipe itself. But one chef wasn't buying it. No fridge on earth, he said, can fix bad taste. Meghan had been working so hard to reinvent herself, from Duchess to Wellness Queen, from podcast host to pantry goddess. But instead of being praised as a thoughtful creator, she was now being laughed at as just another celebrity slapping their name on overpriced fluff. And behind closed doors, total chaos. Her PR team reportedly hit full red alert mode, firing up emergency Zooms and drafting spin plans faster than you can say organic. One idea floated, accusing Ramsay of having a bias against celebrity brands. Another, blame a bad batch or faulty shipping. But deep down, even her own team knew the truth. This wasn't just about one jar of jam. It was a branding fail from crust to core. The As Ever launch has been dressed up like a royal ball. Soft beige tones, elegant fonts, glossy promo shots, and a tone that screamed luxury and grace. But it all felt hollow. Pretty on the outside, but flavorless on the inside. The problem? You can't fake authenticity. People can taste it, and Ramsay, he's made a whole empire calling out that fakery. Duchess or not, your product has to earn its place at the table. Other culinary titans didn't hold back either. Alice Waters reportedly rolled her eyes and muttered, "You can't fake craftsmanship." And Thomas Keller, he cracked a joke at a Napa event saying, "I'd rather spread mustard on my croissant." When chefs who built their careers on flavor start clowning you, you know you've stirred the wrong pot. And the damage didn't stop with just jokes. Boutique retailers, who had cautiously agreed to stock as ever, quietly backed out. One event sent emails to customers canceling pre-orders and offering refunds due to quality concerns. Meghan's website, the Buy Now button, was quietly replaced with a vague sign-up form for future updates, aka the digital version of a white flag. Meanwhile, across the pond, Buckingham Palace was reportedly howling. A former palace aide leaked that even a few royals found the whole mess hilariously ironic, not out of malice, but because of the poetic twist. Meghan had walked away from royal duty to carve her own path, only to trip over a jar of jam. And the question started swirling. Was Meghan really building something new, or was she just slapping glossy filters on old fame and calling it fresh? Because once Ramsay ripped off that beautiful packaging, all that was left was, well, a very expensive, very public mess. In some glossy Los Angeles boardroom, Meghan sat with her circle, stylists, brand strategists, crisis PR warriors, all trying to salvage what was left. But the mood wasn't hopeful, it was thick, tense, like jam left out in the sun. This was supposed to be her graceful pivot into the wellness world. Instead, it had become a case study in how not to launch a product. And now the unspoken question hung in the air like a forgotten email draft. What now? Behind the scenes, there were whispers of pulling the plug, scrapping the entire As Ever brand, clearing the shelves, issuing apologies, and letting it all quietly fade away. But Meghan wasn't ready to retreat. Some loyal advisors still had faith. Books, one whispered. Cookware line, said another. A cooking show, someone offered, eyes wide with desperation. This, they claim, was just a stumble, not the end. But the world outside wasn't so forgiving. In food, there is no royal cushion. There are no tiaras and taste tests. Once the flavor fails, once the trust breaks, it's nearly impossible to claw your way back, especially when Gordon Ramsay is the one holding the knife. Now, this isn't the first time Meghan Markle's faced intense public criticism. In fact, controversy practically follows her like a designer handbag. Ever since she tied the knot with Prince Harry, her life has played out like a never-ending season of a royal reality show. From drama with the firm to podcast misfires, there's always something buzzing around her name. But just when you think things can't get messier, bam! A surrogate mother steps forward claiming she was paid to carry baby Archie. Now, to be fair, this isn't a brand new rumor. The surrogacy whispers have been around for years, floating in internet corners and conspiracy threads. But this time, it hit different, because a woman actually came forward. No book deal, no paparazzi photo shoot, no clout-chasing reality gig. She just wanted to speak. She claimed she was paid to carry Meghan and Harry's firstborn and then disappear. And let's be real, this isn't Meghan wore the wrong shoes to the Queen's Tea Party gossip. This is serious. She says there was money, legal contracts, strict silence, and now she feels used. That's why she's breaking her silence after years in the shadows. And when someone says they're speaking up not for fame, but because they were tossed aside like yesterday's press release, people listen. And more importantly, people start connecting dots. What's even more eyebrow-raising is Meghan and Harry's complete silence. Nothing, no denial, no statement, not even one of those sources close to the couple blurbs that they usually whip up. Meghan, who famously claps back at everything, from press headlines to palace memos, suddenly went radio silent. And that silence, it's not just noticeable, it's suspicious. Because let's be honest, no one cares if a celebrity uses a surrogate anymore. It's 2025. People get it. Stars do it for health reasons, personal reasons, or just preference. No shame in that. But what is shady, acting like it didn't happen, paying someone off, creating legal smoke and mirrors. That's when fans turn into detectives and critics become downright obsessed. And speaking of suspicious, Let's rewind to the strangest breadcrumb of them all, Archie's birth certificate. In the UK, birth certificates are formal. They include full legal names for a reason. But when Archie's certificate was first released, something was off. Meghan's full name, Rachel Meghan Markle, was gone. In its place, just her title, Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. Weird flex, right?
The certificate shows the mother as Rachel Meghan, Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex, and shows her job as Princess of the United Kingdom, the same as what Kate listed for her occupation. Baby Archie has already met his grandmother, the Queen, and according to the Daily Mail, the little one met William and Kate for the first time on Tuesday, and this weekend, a special time for the new parents.
Some thought it was just a royal thing. Maybe she wanted to sound more regal. But just 11 days later, poof, the document was corrected. Not updated, not adjusted, corrected. Which in government lingo means someone thought something was seriously wrong. So who made the call? Meghan? The palace? Either way, why was it changed? And why did she strip her legal name from such a major legal document in the first place? And then enter Lilibet. Officially born in California, Lily's birth certificate should have been straightforward. But eagle-eyed observers noticed another oddity. Instead of listing Harry's full legal name, Henry Charles Albert David, it simply said, His Royal Highness, the Duke of Sussex. Sounds fancy, right? But in the U.S., that's legally useless. America doesn't care if you're a duke, a prince, or the king of Mars. If your legal name isn't on a birth certificate, you're a nobody in the eyes of the law. So here's the kicker. If Harry's real name isn't listed, then technically, in the United States, he might not even be legally recognized as Lilibet's father. That means no automatic custody, no emergency rights, nothing. And if you think Meghan doesn't know the importance of paperwork, please. She's a lawsuit veteran, a PR strategist, a brand protector. She knows. Which leads many to believe this wasn't a clerical error, it was a calculated move. Even stranger, with Archie, Meghan's full name vanished. With Lilibet, it's front and center. One kid with no mother by name, another with no legally valid father. It's like a bizarre legal chess game, only the pieces are babies, and the stakes are everything. And then came the whispers about the Colorado connection. Some reports claim a 23-year-old woman gave birth to Lilibet in Colorado, a state with flexible surrogacy laws and looser rules about birth certificate names. Unlike California, where the surrogate's name may show up on early documentation, Colorado lets intended parents take full credit from the jump. Clean, convenient, quiet. And if silence was the goal, well, mission accomplished. This woman, rumored to have signed strict NDAs, hasn't been seen since. No baby photos, no follow-ups, nothing. And meanwhile, Meghan claims she suffered from dangerous postpartum preeclampsia after Lily's birth, an illness so serious it can require hospitalization and weeks of recovery. But weeks later, she appeared in public, glowing, fine, no signs of a near-death experience. And Harry? While his wife was supposedly battling a life-threatening condition, he was off playing polo in Aspen, smiling, carefree. Does that sound like the actions of a man whose wife nearly died in childbirth, or a man whose baby was born to someone else? And then there's the weirdest twist of all. Lilibet's public record wasn't even a certified U.S. birth certificate. It was a certificate of live birth. Hospitals issue those right after the birth. But the real deal? The state's legal version never surfaced. Why? Was it never filed? Or does it exist with names that don't match the royal narrative? And let's circle back again, because Archie's record was changed to hide Meghan's name. Lilibet's record omits Harry's real name. 2 kids, 2 shady documents. If that doesn't scream intentional, what does? Some believe the entire setup was designed so each parent is only legally connected to one child. A move that might seem bizarre until you remember the royal couple's history of control, secrecy, and image obsession. Could it be about custody, legal protection, future separation? Or maybe, just maybe, they're hiding something even bigger. Now, going back to the jam drama, because the timing of the disaster couldn't have been worse, Meghan had reportedly been in quiet talks with high-end retailers, pitching a version of a modern duchess, farm-to-table elegance, wellness in a jar. But those conversations dried up faster than you can say PR disaster. One executive speaking off the record put it bluntly, we can't stock a product that the internet has already mocked into meme oblivion. Another culinary partner pulled out of a launch event citing a severe brand mismatch. Translation, no one wanted to be the next course in this digital food fight. But the sting wasn't just about the jam. It was about control. Meghan had spent years trying to take back control of her narrative, reclaiming her voice through podcasts, steering her story via documentaries, and crafting a lifestyle brand that reflected her new chapter. But Gordon Ramsay, in one bite, blew all that effort to bits. His no-filter honesty cut through her branding like a hot knife through, well, you get the picture. The media ate it up. Late-night hosts couldn't resist. Tabloids went wild. Morning shows chuckled as they played clips. Headlines like Meghan's jam slammed and Ramsay says no to royal preserves were everywhere. And through it all, one message rang loud and clear. All the marketing in the world can't cover up a mediocre product. But something deeper began to stir. This wasn't just about jam anymore, it was about credibility. For years, Meghan had walked a tightrope between empowering storytelling and high-end lifestyle branding. But now critics began asking, was she really passionate about the things she promoted? Or was it just another celebrity sideline, banking on a famous name and hoping it sells? Insiders claimed that some of the staff had tried to wave the red flag. One reportedly warned the team to delay the launch, saying the jam wasn't ready. Another said the recipe changed multiple times just to meet a product shoot deadline. But the marketing train had already left the station, and it wasn't stopping. Influencers had been prepaid to promote the jam, some of whom scrambled to delete their glowing posts once Ramsay's meltdown went viral. The damage was done. And then came the final blow. A clip leaked from the restaurant kitchen. It showed Meghan's jam being scraped off plates and tossed into a bin, while kitchen staff snickered in the background. No fancy lighting, no Instagram filter, just 12 seconds of cold, harsh reality. That clip hit 5 million views in 2 days. No apology came. Ramsay didn't backtrack. Meghan didn't issue a heartfelt note or launch a PR spin. And honestly, that silence spoke volumes. Because some disasters are just too loud to drown out. Sometimes there's no saving the narrative. Sometimes a flop is a flop. The jam wasn't just rejected, it was obliterated. The brand, tarnished. And Meghan, she didn't just lose a product launch, she lost another piece of the public's belief in her authenticity. It wasn't just fruit that got squashed, it was the illusion. In the end, what was supposed to be a sweet start to Meghan's next act turned sour in record time. All it took was one plate, one chef, one bite. And the carefully crafted world of as ever came crashing down like an overripe raspberry on a white carpet. Because when you serve up style without substance, even royalty can't stop the backlash. Now don't think for a second that this is Meghan's first time in the world of cooking. No, the Duchess of Drama has been playing kitchen queen long before her jam hit the fan. Back in her Suits days before royal titles, Oprah specials, and a whole lot of PR spin, Meghan was already dipping her toes into the lifestyle influencer pool with her now defunct blog, The Tig. Think of it as Goop's less successful cousin, where she shared wine reviews, travel tips, inspirational quotes, and yes, her carefully curated recipes. And when we say curated, we mean it. Her blog post read like someone had Googled how to sound easily fancy. She'd whip up a bowl of zucchini pasta, toss in some lemon zest, and suddenly it wasn't just dinner, it was a moment. There were smoothie bowls, roasted veggies, and of course, her go-to dish, a slow-roasted chicken. The same chicken she supposedly made for Harry the night he proposed. According to Meghan, that poultry changed her life. Must have been one magical bird. But let's be clear, this wasn't Julia Child energy. Meghan wasn't sweating in the kitchen with flour on her nose. This was Pinterest cooking. Aesthetic first, taste second. Her food content was more about the vibe than the flavor, which kind of explains a lot now, doesn't it? Fast forward to her royal era, and Meghan tried to give her foodie persona a nobler twist. After the Grenfell Tower tragedy in London, she partnered with a group of women at a local community kitchen. Together they launched Together, our community cookbook, a genuine heartfelt project that actually worked. The recipes came from real women with real stories, and the cookbook raised serious money for a good cause. To be fair, this was one of Meghan's best moves. She showed up, helped out, and at least for once, wasn't trying to sell you something with a $40 price tag and a soft beige ribbon. But here's the thing, even that sincere moment somehow got wrapped into the Meghan Markle trademark brand. Her name was on the cover, her speech at the launch was all over the media, and of course, the foreword was peak PR perfection. She made it clear this wasn't just about food, it was about her evolving into a woman of purpose. Translation, get ready, lifestyle empire incoming. And then the jam happened. Now I want to hear from you. Was Gordon Ramsay right or just way too harsh? Drop your thoughts below. Hit like, subscribe, and don't forget to check out our other videos for more drama and hot takes.